Shalom, brothers and sisters. This is your brother Yahawashi. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to Yahweh, about Shem Yahawashi. Peace, salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth, learning and teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity. Shalom. Today I want to go over how celebrating your birthday is a sin and it's wickedness, and you need to repent if you're doing it. I just want to go over some precepts on it. It'll be a short lesson, Yahweh Razah. So I want to get into that first example in Genesis chapter 40. The book of Genesis chapter 40. Start at verse 19. Yet within 3 days shall the Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from thee. Verse 20. And it came to pass the third day, which was the Pharaoh's birthday, key word, birthday, that he made a feast unto all his servants, and he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. Verse 21. He restored the chief butler unto his butlership again, and he gave the cup into the Pharaoh's hand. Verse 22. But he hanged the chief baker as Joseph had interpreted in the dream. Verse 23. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgave him. So that's a perfect example right there of how Jake today is still celebrating birthdays. Nothing new under the sun. But Pharaoh celebrating his birthday, and he hanged the chief baker, just like how Joseph interpreted in the dream. So nothing new under the sun. Still today, the southern and northern kingdom don't want to come back to the ways of Yahawashi and not celebrate these heathen ways of the birthday, because it's the heathen nations that are following. You're following the heathen nations. You're not supposed to make a covenant with the heathen. It's just the way Esau Edom. You don't put your trust in men. Like this is a pagan holiday, like the Christmas, Thanksgiving, Easter, all the other pagan ones that this lines up right with the birthday. And that's what I'm going into in this lesson is the birthday one. So people want to still celebrate this. It's just no bueno. That's why we have to stay away from this for surely, because it's paganism and it's wicked. So I'm going to get into that. First Maccabees chapter 1. This is First Maccabees chapter 1. Let's start at verse 11. Salakia. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men, who persuaded many, saying, Let us go make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us, for since we have departed from them, we have made such sorrow. Verse 12. So this device pleased them well. Then certain of the people were so forward herein that they went to the king, who gave them license to do after the ordinances of the heathen. Verse 14, whereupon they built a place of exercise at Jerusalem according to the customs of the heathen. Verse 15, they made themselves uncircumcised, forsook the holy covenant, and joined themselves to the heathen, and were sold to do mischief. This is nothing new under the sun. The northern and southern kingdom do it today. Jake still does it. Like this. This is the same thing that happened when we came out of Egypt and we saw the Hamites and the Canaanites. We wanted to do what they were doing during our captivity under the Pharaoh, coming out of it. So I'm going to bring out that Leviticus chapter 18, verse 3. That's Leviticus chapter 18, verse 3. After the doings of the land of Egypt wherein ye dwelt, shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whether I bring you, shall ye not do. Neither shall he walk in their ordinances. So we don't do the ways of the heathen. We don't walk in their ordinances. In chapter 19, we don't do their lusts either. Slagi, in verse 19 in that chapter, we wouldn't do their lusts as well. We would follow the ways of Yahawashi, these law, statutes, and commandments. We'd be holy. We'd be set apart. That's how we remain holy. That's because that's the points to the end. So we gotta stay holy, endure to the end. I'm gonna bring out that Exodus 23 and 22. Can't make a covenant with them, and then this is just going over that as well. Because we don't want to follow their gods and worship their gods and all their gods in their captivity. And that last precept, going more into it, and then that's why this Exodus 23 and 32 lines up with it perfect. This is Exodus chapter 23 and verse 32. Thou shalt not make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. Verse 33. They shall not dwell in thy land unless they make thee sin against me. For if thou serve their gods, it shall surely be a snare unto thee. So you're sinning against Yahawashi if you're making a covenant with them and with their gods. So no covenant with the heathen nations round about you. So that goes into no voting as well. So you can't make a covenant with them or their gods. It's a sin against Yahawashi. And our people do the same today, the same thing. That's why I was saying it's like nothing new under the sun. And we'll bring out that Proverbs 24 and 7. It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 24 and verse 7. Wisdom is too high for a fool. He openeth not his mouth in the gate. Verse 8. He that despises to do evil shall be called a mischievous person. So, wisdom is too high for a fool. So Jake's not gonna hear this in the Northern Kingdom, Southern Northern Kingdom. Not gonna hear this. Yahweh Radazal, they wake up and come to these law, statutes, and commandments because that's what we want. We're waking up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. That's what it's all about. To come back to the ways of Yahawashi, that's what it's all about. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 13. Whoso despises the word shall be destroyed. The word, Yahawashi, come back to the word. But he that feareth the commandment shall be rewarded. We fear the commandments of Yahawashi because we're trying to make it to that kingdom. Verse 14. The law of the wise is a fountain of life. To he depart from the snares of death. Depart from the snares of death. That's what we're doing. You can't be prideful. Your ego. You gotta understand this and take heed and be humble about it. It's Matthew chapter 11 verse 25. And at that same time, Yahawashi answered and said, I thank thee, O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, because thou hast hid these things from the wise and prudent, and hast revealed them unto babes. So that's Yahawashi red letter, and Yahawashi speaking. You gotta come onto this as babies and be humble. You can't be like wise and prudent. You can't be arrogant or prideful. That's wrought, chapter 7, verse 1. This is Wrought, chapter 7, verse 1. Do no evil, so shall no harm come unto thee. Depart from the unjust, and the iniquity shall turn away from thee. So you wanna depart from this wickedness right here, doing these holidays, because this birthday goes in with the holidays. You want to follow the holy days in the Bible, like in Leviticus chapter 23. Follow the ways of Yahawashi, Yahawashi. Stay in this word. I'm gonna get in that Ecclesiastes. It's Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 1. A good name is better than the precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of one's birth. And that shows you right there that you're not supposed to be celebrating no birthdays. And that's the summary point of this lesson right here, because like I was saying, like Jake and the Northern Kingdom don't want to celebrate. They don't want to celebrate it. They won't say no to it. They gotta celebrate it. And these are heathen customs, the birthday celebrations. That's what they come from. And that's why I'm gonna go down to verse 8. Better is the end of a thing than the beginning thereof. And the patient in the spirit is better than the proud in the spirit. That's why I say you gotta be patient and be humble. Come on to this as babes and understand this. This is Proverbs chapter 16, verse 25. There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. So you gotta be understanding to this. And go up to verse 18. Pride goeth before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Verse 19. Better it is to be humble. So better it is to be of an humble spirit with lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. Verse 20. He that handleth the matter wisely shall find a good, and whoso trusteth in Yahweh, happy is he. So, you want to be humble and not let your pride come in the way of understanding this, because that would be a stumbling block for you, because this is what you have to take heed to. This is straight from the gospel. So you can't be celebrating birthdays. It's the ways of the heathen. This is Matthew chapter 14 and verse 4. For John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her. I'll just start from the top. At that time, Herod the Tetrarch heard of the fame of Yahawashi, and he said unto his servants, this is John the Baptist. He is risen from the dead, and therefore mighty works do show forth themselves in him. For Herod laid hold on John and bound him, and put him in prison for Herodias' sake, his brother Philip's wife. Verse 4. For John said unto him, it is not lawful for thee to have her. And what John was talking about he was talking about the brother, Philip's wife, because that's adultery. So I'm going to keep going. And when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude. So that's why John got put to prison. And when he would have put him to death, he feared the multitude because they counted him as a prophet. Verse 6. But when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod. I want to get the mark to line up with that. This is Mark chapter 6 and verse 21. And when a convenient day was come that Herod on his birthday made a supper to his lords, high captains, captains, and chief estates of Galilee. So he was doing it for his lords on his birthday, on that satanic day, because we know that's wickedness. So yeah, I'm gonna read that verse 6 again. But when Herod's birthday was kept, because it lined up with that's why I read it. So, but when Herod's birthday was kept, the daughter of Herodias danced before them and pleased Herod. So Herod, as you can see, we can see that Herod was an Edomite who came from Herodians. When you do your research on it, you would know that they were Edomites. And this is an Edomite custom, celebrating these birthdays. Like verse 6 right here in Matthew 14 and 6 shows that. Like, it's the way of the heathens, like the Romans and the Greeks. They all did the same thing, and this is the custom of it. Like, all the way back to the Hamites as well. The Moabites, Ananites, Amalekites. It's customs of the heathen nations, period. So yeah, like that verse 6, that's what it's getting into. So like, cause you never see like Isaiah, Jeremiah, Job, David, Matthew, Mark, John, Luke, Paul, they didn't celebrate their birthdays, cause it's a wicked day. You know, like in Job, I'm gonna go over that Job now, cause Job had to go through it. Job had to go through it with his kids. Job didn't do it. It's the book of Job, chapter 1. I'm going to start from the top. There was a man in the name of Uz, whose name was Job, and that man was perfect and upright, and one that feared Yahweh, and eschewed evil. Verse 2. And when there were born unto him 7 sons and 3 daughters. Verse 3. And his substance also was 7,000 sheep, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen, 500 she asses, and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the east. And his son went and feasted in their houses, every one his day, and sent and called for their 3 sisters to eat and drink with him. So he feasted right there. What does that mean? That's meaning his birthday. That's what that's meaning. His son was celebrating his birthday. Verse 5. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, that Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning, and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. For Job said, it may be that my sons have sinned and cursed Yahweh in their hearts. Thus Job did continually. So Job did it continually because they kept continually doing this. Because they kept continually sinning by celebrating their birthdays. Job's 7 sons and 3 daughters, they kept celebrating their birthday, and so Job had to continually do this for Yahweh, like the burnt offerings, Salakia, because like that's wickedness what Job's sons and daughters were doing, and that's why every year they were doing it. So I'm going to get into that Job chapter 3 now. Book of Job chapter 3, start at verse 1. After this opened Job his mouth and cursed his day. And Job spake and said, Let the day perish wherein I was born, and the night in which it was said, There is a man conceived. Let that day be darkness, and let no God regard it from above, neither let the light shine upon it. Let the darkness and the shadow of death stain it, and let a cloud dwell upon it, and let the blackness of the day terrify it. As for that night, let darkness seize upon it. Let it not be joined unto the days of the year, and let it not come into the numbers of the months. And that's talking about your birthday right there, because that's how birthdays are celebrated. Days of the years and the numbers of the months. That's how you would know when your birthday is, and that's how they celebrate it. That's what Job was talking about. So I'm going to keep going. Lo, let that night be solitary, and let no joyful voice come therein. Let them cursed is that curse the day, who are ready to raise up their mourning. So that's going in like how they love to celebrate it the day before as well, like birthday's eve. Like, that's wicked. I'm going to keep going. And let the stars of the twilight thereof be dark, and let it look for light, but have none, neither let it see the dawning of the day, because it shut not up the doors of the mother's womb, nor hid the sorrow from mine eyes. Why died I not from the womb? Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? Like, it's wicked to celebrate your birthday. This was going into a period, and like, I'm gonna go down to I'm gonna get that Amos to line up with that in chapter 1. The book of Amos chapter 5, start at verse 20. Shall not the day of the Yahweh be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? So that's going into when the end times, when Yahawashi comes, when Yahawashi comes, it's going to be a day of vengeance. And if you don't come out your ways and you continue to be wicked, you're going to be, you will be destroyed for staying in the darkness. Verse 21, I despise your feast days. I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. So your feast days. And that's exactly what they were doing in Job chapter 1 in verse 5. And it was so, when the days of their feasting were gone about, Job sent and sanctified them, and rose up early in the morning and offered burnt offerings according to the number of them all. Job said that it may be sons, Salakia, that it may be sons have sinned and cursed Yahweh in their hearts. Thus Job continually. So let's just get into it. It's an abomination, just like it goes with all these other hella days that we eat with your family, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and all of them. So I'm going to get into that. Job chapter 8 and verse 19. Behold, this is the joy of his way, and out of earth shall others grow. Verse 20. Behold, Yahweh will not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help the evildoers. So I'm going to get into that. Job chapter 3. Job chapter 3 and verse 11, when he was saying, like, why died I not from the womb. Why did I not give up the ghost when I came out of the belly? So when he's saying that, it's because he didn't want to leave. That's why he's saying it's like it's because he did want to leave. He wanted to die. So that's why he was asking that. Why didn't I just die? Because Job didn't want to come back. So now we're getting at Job chapter 14. This is Job chapter 14, verse 13. Oh, though thou wouldest hide me in the grave, that thou wouldest keep me secret until thy wrath be past, and that thou wouldest appoint me a set time and remember me. Verse 14, if a man die, shall he live again? All the days of my appointed time will I wait till my change come? This is talking about reincarnation right there, what Job was saying. Verse 15, thou shalt call, and I will answer thee. Thou wilt have a desire to the work of thy hands. For now thou numberest my steps. Dost thou not watch over my sin? So Job understood reincarnation, like he understood, like in the other verse, that wickedness was here, because he seen it. He knew that wickedness was there, and like that when you come back for judgment, that you would get dealt with for what you did. I'll get that. Listen to Job chapter 4. This is Job chapter 4, start at verse 7. Remember, I pray thee, whoever perished being innocent, or where were the righteous cut off? Verse 8, even as I have seen, they that plow iniquity and sow wickedness reap the same. So we know that you reap what you sow, in like in Galatians. So that's what that's getting to right there. Verse 9, by the blast of Yahweh they perish, and by the breath of his nostrils are they consumed. So we see right there that Job understood when you be wicked, like a wicked man's going to receive a wicked man's reward. Just like how a false prophet's going to receive a false prophet's reward. And like I was saying, you reap what you sow. So like your actions you get holded accountable for your actions. So you would get destroyed by the breath of his nostrils. Are they consumed? Like when Yahawashi Yahawashi would do that to you for being wicked, coming back. The reincarnation, what you did in your past life, you're going to get held accountable for in this life. So I'll read that Job chapter 8 and 19 again. Behold, Job chapter 8 verse 19. Behold, this is the joy of his way, and out of the earth shall others grow. Behold, Yahweh will not cast away a perfect man, neither will he help the evildoers. So we know that Yahawashi won't help the evildoers, and that's what you have to understand. It's like when you come back, you got to pay for what you do, like I was saying. And that's that reincarnation right there. So like I was saying, like that Job chapter 3. Get back into Job chapter 3 and verse 6. As for the night, let darkness seize upon it, and let it not be joined unto the days of the year, and let it not come into the numbers of the months. So that's celebrating birthdays right there. Like I was saying earlier, you can't get around it. Just like in Matthew 14, celebrating the wicked birthday. Like the woman didn't know what she wanted when Herod asked her, like, what do you want? And so she asked her mom, and then her mom told her that she wanted John the Baptist's head, and John got beheaded. So, like, you can't do the ways of the heathen, man. So I'm going to get in that second Esdras. It's the second Esdras, chapter 3. I'm going to start at verse 32. Or is it any other people that knoweth thee beside Israel? Or what generation has so believed thy covenants as Jacob? Verse 33, and yet their reward appeareth not, and their labor hath no fruit. For I have gone here, there, through the heathen, and I see that they flow in wealth, and they think not upon the commandments. So the heathen don't follow the commandments of Yahawashi. Verse 34, wait though therefore our wickedness now in balance, and there also that dwell in the world, so shall thy name nowhere be found but in Israel. Verse 35, or when it was it that they dwell upon the earth have not sinned in thy sight, or what the people have so kept thy commandments? Verse 36, thou shalt find that Israel by name hath kept thy precepts, but not the heathen. So that's just an example right there that the Israelites of Yahawashi that are actually in these law, statutes, and commandments and baptized in the name of Yahawashi in water for remission of sins to receive the Holy Ghost, those are the ones that actually follow the true gospel. And like other wicked Israelites that don't follow the ways of Yahawashi, it's nothing new under the sun. Like other camps follow the Yahawashi, but they don't follow the true gospel because they're not baptized. So that's also another subject too, though. So I was just explaining right there, like the heathen, they don't follow the ways of Yahawashi. I'm getting that Jeremiah chapter 10. Because we know that in Psalms 119, we got to meditate in the precepts. In like Sirach 6 and 17, we meditate in the commandments as well. So and also in Psalms 119, we follow the commandments as well. Just like how Yahawashi said. This is Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 1. Hear he the word which Yahweh speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Verse 2, thus say Yahweh, learn not the way of the heathen. Be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. We know not to follow the ways of the heathen. That's why he despises the feast days, and we don't follow him. Get down Mark. Get down Mark chapter 7 and verse 6. And he answered and said unto them, well hath Isaiah prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. Verse 7, howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching the doctrines and commandments of men. Verse 8, for laying aside the commandments of Yahweh, ye hold the tradition of men, and the washing of the pots and cups, and many other such things ye do. Verse 9, and he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of Yahweh, that ye may keep your own tradition. And like I said, like these other camps, that's what they do as well, like not following the baptism, so they follow traditions of man. And if you're following the birthday too, you're following commandments of man, tradition of man. That's why I'm going to get to Colossians 2 and 8. It lines up right with it. That was Yahawashi speaking red letter as well. This is Colossians chapter 2, verse 8. Beware lest any man spoil you through the philosophy and vain deceit, after the traditions of men, after the rudiments of the world, not after Hamashiach. So you're not following Hamashiach if you're doing these traditions. You're learning these from the heathen nations, and you're cleaving to them like it's from Yahawashi, but it's not. So you got to come to the gospel, put the pride away, and realize that birthdays are satanic. And also, like I was saying, that water baptism is key for salvation. In the name of Yahawashi for remission of sins. You don't want to follow commandments of men and have your pride in the way. That's another topic for another time. Let's just stick on the birthday lesson, because but it does tie into it too, because you won't make it to the kingdom of heaven. And like just Amos 9 and 8 explains it too, and I'll bring that out. You know, John 3:5 and Mark 16 explain it as well. With the water baptism, if you're not baptized in the name of Mashiach Yahawashi for remission of sins, you're not gonna make it into the kingdom of Yahweh. It's just period, plain and simple. So I can't get into it. This is Amos chapter 9 and verse 8. Behold, the eyes of Lord God upon all the sinful kingdom, I will destroy it and cut. So I will destroy it from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith the Lord. So we know that the house of Jacob, the descendants, the 12 tribes, the ones who are baptized in the name of Mashiach Yahawashi for remission of sins, will be saved. Wheresoever, we have the elect like this. But the ones that are following the commandments of men and following these birthdays and these holidays and not following the holy days, like I just read in that precept, are getting destroyed. So that's why we have to come back to our Yahweh, our power, because that's wicked. That's wickedness. I'm gonna play this video. Yep, happy birthday. We don't do that around here. Feel me? So no. So I'm gonna go to this guys real quick. Mashiach.
Celebrating your birthday is Satanic, Part 1. The Satanic Bible by Anton Szandor Levy. Let's read. The highest of all holidays in the Satanic religion is the date of one's own birth. This is in direct contradiction to the holy of holy days of other religions, which deify a particular god who has been created in an anthropomorphic form of their own image, thereby showing that the ego is not really buried. The Satanist feels, why not really be honest and not create that God as yourself? Every man is a god if he chooses to recognize himself as one. So the Satanist celebrates his own birthday as the most important holiday of the year. Are you still going to celebrate your birthday?
No, I ain't going to celebrate it. We don't do that around here. This is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near with me with their mouth and with their lips, do honor me, but have removed their heart from me, and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men. They're following the precept of men. If you're celebrating your birthday, and also if you're not baptized in the name of Mashiach Yahawashi for remission of sins in water, because you're letting your pride get in the way, your ego get in the way, like I was saying before. Yahweh that was edifying, because you see how wicked celebrating your birthday is. It's in the Satanic Bible. We got to be holy. We got to be set apart. Kam Yasharallah. And with that being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahawashi. Peace, salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad across the four corners of the earth, learning or teaching this gospel in truth and sincerity. Shalom.